What's up, everybody? Hey, what was I thinking about? Oh, back in the day, my boxing trainer, he like 30 years older than me. So he used to always tell me about like old times and shit like that growing up in Harlem, when he was in Harlem. And, it's funny, like everybody using this word simp. Simp this, simp that. But if you read the book by Iceberg Slim, like old pimp books and stuff like that, they talk about what a simp was. And most guys are simps. Especially if you grew up with a single parent home and you ain't have a father to teach you shit. Most guys grew up being simps. And a simp, from the way Iceberg Slim tells it and the way my friend tells it, my boxing trainer, he's 30 years older than me. He's like 85 now. But they always talk about a simp. Don't be a Georgia simp. Or they'll say, don't get Georgia. Getting Georgia by a female is when you take her out, y'all go back, you take her out, you spend the money on her. It ain't even about money a lot of times when you're a simp. It's all about you having sex with her. And you having oral sex with her. All kind of sex. You giving her sex. And ain't getting nothing in return. She ain't giving you nothing. And you just sexing her like crazy. And you was a simp. That's where the term simp come from. You not getting nothing in return. See, because pimps, back in the days, people think pimps are like sex maniacs. They wasn't. They just put women out there to sell their body. And this is why the movies always made pimps look like borderline gay, funny, clown jigaboos, because they couldn't figure out what it was a man was telling a woman that would convince her to go out there and sell her body and give the man the money. And then like one pimp told me, said, because she ain't interested in the money, she interested in the chase, she interested in the fact that she's getting over on this guy. That's what she's interested in. She don't care about the money. It's that she gets over on him. That was their thrill. And then I guess some of them did, like, they just like the chase, I guess it was. It was just the whole, like some people, say like a pickpocket. A pickpocket don't really need the money. He just gets off on a thrill that he's able to pickpocket people and get away with it. It's that kind of thing. And that's what, pimps couldn't understand, how guys would sleep with these women and don't get nothing from it. And that's why pimps always despise gigolos. They didn't like gigolos and shit like that. They were saying gigolos are suckers. You gonna go out there and have sex with this woman just so she could pay you for it. And they couldn't understand that. And that's where the word simp come from. People use the word simp now. They don't know what they're talking about. The term has just changed, I guess. The term simp. That's what a simp was. They were like, don't get Georgia. And because in Iceberg Slim, he talked about how he met the lady, I think it was his babysitter. She used to Georgia him. She used to use him because he was a little boy. And she was using him for his body and stuff. Can I get by? Yep. All right, y'all. Oh, one more thing I was talking about the state of Georgia. We were talking about how the state of Georgia was founded. That's another thing we was talking about, how the state of Georgia was founded. The state of Georgia was founded as an experiment. It started as an experiment. It was to stop slaves from running away from South Carolina into the state of Florida, because Florida was a free state that was owned by Spain. So slaves would run away and go hide in the Everglades. They would go hide in the Everglades and intermingle with the Seminoles. They become part of the Seminole tribe. Seminole means runaway slave. That's why it bugs me out when I be seeing these white people with Seminole Indian T-shirts on. They don't realize that the Seminole were black, and they would marry and join the Seminole tribe. So out of the five main civilized tribes in America, Seminoles were one of the only tribes that accepted black people. And we get in arguments all the time on Facebook about this, about blacks being natives and all this other stuff. But if blacks was natives, slavery wouldn't have lasted so long. If there was natives and got along with the Indians, slavery wouldn't have lasted so long. But Indians own five out of the five the main five civilized tribes. Four of them own slaves. The Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, and Cree, they all own black slaves. In fact, after slavery ended, they had to be forced to let their slaves go. They was even paid reparations to let their slaves go. If you don't believe me, look it up. This is what Claude Anderson teaches. Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, Cree, Seminole. I didn't mean to get so political and go from Georgia Simp and all that, but I was trying to say, Alright, Charlie. I got my books. I got my books to show me, but I want my books out later.